That was my dad, the man. A human being so true, he could live like a king, 'cause he knew the real pleasure in life, to be devoted to and always stand by me, so I'd be unafraid and free. If there was ever a man who was generous, gracious, and good, that was my dad, the man. And always stand by me, so I'd be unafraid and free. If there was ever a man who was generous, gracious, and good, that was my dad, the man, the man, the man, the man, the
man. Applause, applause. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Pierre Chambers. I can hear the applause. Can you hear it?
Yes, yes, yes. How's everybody today? Welcome to this wonderful show. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
For having me here.
You're welcome. So I've known Pierre for a long time, but I've never known him as a solo singer, and that's because he's kind of beginning his solo career now, right?
Yes, yes, very true.
Yeah.
Actually, I started off singing solo stuff.
You did?
I started with Dolores Peterson, promoter in LA, doing shows with her. And she introduced me to Mitch and Lisa.
Right.
And we formed Chambers, Herbert, and Ellis. But that was 8 years of singing with the group. And now I'm doing my solo thing.
Yeah. I was actually talking to somebody else who was yesterday or the day, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. This really great background singer named Lamont Van Hook, who's sung with a whole bunch of people, Phil Collins
Oh,
and
wow.
Diana, what's her name? Supreme.
Oh, Diana Ross.
Diana Ross.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's really sung with a lot of great people, and he's just starting. What did he say? He's 50. Did he say was he 57? Anyway, he's just starting his solo career.
I'm a little older than him. And still out there trying to do my thing, you know. And it's so difficult especially if you've sang background or you've sang with a group. It's kind of difficult to kind of start on your own. For me, specifically for me,
Yeah.
there was an element of intimidation related to doing my own thing. I'm so used to hearing voices on either side of me or around me that, you know, you miss them. You do miss them.
Yeah.
But, you know, your desire to go and do your thing overrides all of that, and you do what you have to do. You know, if you have to, you have to create. So
yeah. So when you started singing solo, you were a kid or a young adult, or what was that?
I was my first solo ever in life, if you could even call it that, was 9 years old with the recreational choir growing up in Detroit. Miss Pace would gather the young kids in the neighborhood and do a choir in an attempt to do a Christmas show at the recreational center that was not too far from my grandmother's house. And I sang "Oh Little Town of Bethlehem."
Oh, you know. Little tenor.
yes, very little, no, little soprano it was, you know. But that was my first solo ever. And I believe, you know, music has always been in my life. I mean, you know, living in my house, we each had a room. My older brother, my sister, myself, my mom, we all had our own separate rooms. And out of any room on any given day, you might hear rock, you might hear Motown, you hear jazz, you'll hear Indian music, or, you know, Chinese. I mean, we just had this eclectic ear, all of us. We all had this eclectic ear that my mom especially, I have to give her credit for the way I love the music and listen to jazz, because she's the one that taught me how to do that. And to love music in general. So again, my mother we would eat dinner to like Indian music or Chinese music or and she was always exposing us to different sounds and stuff, you know.
Nice.
So I have to give her credit.
Yeah, that's you don't. I don't think a lot of people do that.
No, not especially in the 60s. Okay, that one happened.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about your dad more, but was your dad around or not around, or?
No, Daddy was in New York doing his thing. My mother and my father had split up in the early 60s, and my mom went home to Detroit, and my father, of course, stayed in New York to pursue his musical career. He would come in every now and then, but he wasn't necessarily around.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really your mom was creating the musical thing.
Yeah, she was very influential in terms of how I understand the music, and she fed us constantly, you know, the music and how important this was, and how important our father was, you know, because we had to understand, and you know, Daddy was one of the architects. He was one of the founding fathers, not founding fathers, but he was certainly in the 60s, he changed the bass.
Yeah,
50s
definitely.
and 60s, he changed the bass. So
it makes me let's see, I'm not really sure how to formulate this, but when I hear you speak about your mom, it makes me think or kind of wonder, the relationship between she and your father must have been very deep one, and he must have loved her partly because she was so into music. Because obviously she didn't just come up with that in a second. That was who she was. So it just makes me think about that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom and dad had an interesting relationship. They never divorced.
Oh.
He wouldn't divorce her. And they stayed together, and my mother loved him. I mean, she never, my mother was an interesting woman, strong and beautiful in so many ways. But she was not the kind of mother that, down the father. She constantly told us of the importance of our father, even after he died. So she never dogged him or anything. And she always kept before us how important the music was and how important my father was within the music.
That's really nice.
She's a beautiful lady. I miss her terribly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. So, one thing I noticed as I'm listening to your solo performancing, because the group is the group, the group, it's, you said 8 years, and I know how it feels to sing with people because I sang with my sisters. I was telling you I had twin sisters, and we grew up singing together. And you adapt and you develop stuff, and it's group. It's something. It's different than solo singing, and
it really is.
But when I hear you solo sing, I mean, I'm expecting the more you do it, the even stronger you'll become, and it'll really, really like get juicy. But one thing I do notice very much so is your feel, your groove, your attachment. That's what I notice about singers. Your attachment to the groove that is, when we hear people perform, we hear how they are relating to the groove, right?
Right.
And that's how we can tell what the groove is, really. If there's just, if you really think about it. So that's what I hear. I hear your relationship to the groove, which is great. And it's really in there. It's there. It's not something that you studied yesterday. You know what I mean? It's just there. It's in there, and it comes out and it shows.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, isn't it?
We're all trying to find our voice and trying to find our way. Fortunately for me, I grew up listening to music that had that heavy groove. There was always, I listened to a lot of music that the tempo and the groove, the rhythm was so important to the music in my ear. Yeah. And I connected with that. I try really hard to swing because I mean, if it's, I always say, even if you're an adequate singer or your voice isn't necessarily pretty, something that I struggle with. And, but if you can sing the song and get in the pocket and the rhythm is good, you got it going, you can convey what you need to convey through that way. Because it's not all, I always think your voice doesn't have to necessarily be pretty. So to speak. I mean, Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was none other that could take a song and create magic out of it with that little bit of voice in her. Etta Jones is another. I love Etta Jones. I mean, she has such a heavy groove and such a heavy swing to it that I try to, you still try to take things from everybody that you listen to. But yeah, that's important to me. I like it to swing. I like it to be groovy.
Yeah, well, see, you don't even have to try.
I try.
But I'm saying, if it's one thing to be a student of whatever you're trying to learn.
Uh-huh.
And we'll never stop doing that, maybe even when we're 90 years old. We're always a student. However,
Yes.
there are things that are, when you put aside everything and you're creative and curious and you go forth and you make the music and play. And of course, we're putting all the student stuff aside, and then it just comes out what's in there. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't have to even worry about it because it's just part of your makeup,
It's the ear.
Yeah.
I was fortunate early on in my musical life to pick up a good ear.
Yeah.
The music, the people that I surrounded myself with musically through my late 20s and my 40s, they demanded that you have a good ear. I don't read music. I'm not proficient in reading music or anything. A little, but certainly not enough to pick up sheet music and sight read it. No, but I was put into groups where they demanded that you listen to what's going on in all parts of the music. It wasn't just the music. There were the voices in front, voices in back, to the side, and the musicians that you had to listen to. And I believe I developed a good ear.
Yeah.
That's key to me, because if you can't read music but you have a good ear, you can kind of make your way through it.
Yeah. Talking about this kind of stuff, it really turns me on because there's all these different levels of thinking about it, and as a teacher, I guess, because I'm always, as a teacher, I usually like to tap into the students' reality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And see how they understand, because it doesn't really matter how I understand other than that I can lead them somewhere,
Right. You can convey that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is about listening is like something that I think about a lot is a perspective, and like, how does one get into the magic universe immediately? You know how, like, when somebody plays a note, whether they're good or bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I like it right now.
Yeah,
After the first note,
there's an emotional connection,
yeah,
a feeling that happens on either bad or good.
yeah,
You're going to get that very same feeling if they're not what you want them to be, and your music is going to, in some way, it's going to sneak itself in there.
yeah,
Negative or positive. And I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. So how does one, I mean, that, like I said, there's a lot of discussion about that because there's a lot of different experiences and points of view. How does one get into the magic right away? With a group such as yours, such as Chambers, Ellison, right? I mean, that you guys had to enter into that sacred spot pretty quick, right?
Well, we did a lot of rehearsing. Rehearsing was key.
Yeah.
Because not only were we listening to one another, we were listening for those notes that Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, when we did their stuff, was laying down. And that was not easy music. That was not easy. I mean, we often laughed about it, how difficult some of this music was, not only to produce it, but to make it ours.
Yeah.
To make it ours. And it's not easy to jump right into the spirit of it. There were many nights where a song or two went by and we didn't click till that third song. It's just the way. And some nights it was magical. It was right away. No matter how much rehearsal we did or whatever, there were times when it was like, okay, yeah, we need to get it together. It didn't click right away. But after the first song or something, we were there.
Yeah.
Because I believe both Mitch and Lisa, we believed in what we were doing. And we wanted to do it. We used to joke a lot about, because Mitch's father is Herb Ellis. Lisa's father was Mort Herbert. And and my father was Paul Chambers. And we joked a lot that our fathers were looking down on us, letting us know, okay, you didn't do that right, you did this right, so we had that on our back. Plus, we can't dishonor our fathers. Eventually that moved on and we started doing our own thing. But it was definitely there in the beginning. And so that desire to do well, created that, once we hit the back room, in the room before we hit, we were back there rehearsing. We were back there singing songs. We were back there harmonizing. We were back there, doing the stuff that we do in order to get ourselves into gear,
Yeah.
and hit and be on, So, but it is not easy. It's not always easy. With yourself is much easier. By yourself is much easier. Because you don't really have to worry about, blending and listening to anybody other than the musicians. You don't really have to worry about what other people are doing, because you're doing it yourself. You just have to make sure that you're on, So,
You're making me think of singing with my sisters, I on this one record, after my first sister passed away, I recorded with Ross Tompkins on piano. And we recorded a song that my sisters and I sang, kind of in tribute, which was Good Night, Sweetheart. You remember that?
Yeah, Good Night, Sweetheart.
Yeah. And so we also did a jazzy version of Jingle Bells.
Oh, wow.
Too. That was really cool. But on this record, we did Good Night, Sweetheart. And the the joy and the feeling of singing with other people, and you're basically operating as one being or something, and it's a really good feeling.
There was a magic with that.
Yeah,
there was a magic. I mean, and that magic flowed both ways. If you were singing it wonderfully, there was this euphoria that hit you. It's like endorphins in the runner.
Yeah.
The runner thing. You get it, you're on, you do it, and it's like this high that comes like nothing you ever feel. But if you're not doing well, there's low. This low comes, but again, you have to embrace that as well. You have to embrace it all. So yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, because there were moments with Mitch and Lisa where it was like, wow, we did that well. We did that well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of my sisters and I used to sing like for old age homes together, like when we were kids growing up.
Yeah.
And of course, all the family functions, because my dad was a sax player, and he was hired to get the band for family functions.
Right.
And so we would always
my experience.
Yeah.
The father is a musician. Yeah.
Yeah. But and we lived in a small house, and my bedroom was shared the wall with a living room, which is where my dad taught.
Yeah.
And so in the Saturday mornings and stuff, I'd wake up to him screaming at the kid, no, F sharp, or whatever. Right. So that was part of it. And then also my dad worked all the time. So Sunday mornings, guess who put the book back together with him?
Oh, wow, you did. Wow. Nice.
Yeah. I don't know why my sisters didn't get into that, but I was like right there.
Yeah, you just loved it.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, which I've said this before 100 times, but I didn't realize that the smell of the music paper that I was so enthralled with was actually spit and smoke. I didn't realize that until much later.
Took away kind of the allure, right?
Yeah, but I always was very attracted to that kind of smell,
Right. Once you found out what it was, not so much. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
Right.
By the way, Gary Brumberg says hello.
Hey, Gary, what's up, babe?
Yeah, so What I think you're. I want to sound like I want to make this sound as respectful as possible, but I think that it takes a lot of bravery in this moment of your life to embark on your solo career. Do you um, are there any not that you want to share it with the whole everybody who's watching, but are there any issues that you could talk about just in your consideration of how you're getting into it and maybe the difficulties or the positives?
It's something that I must do. It's a bucket list. It's a, I don't want to regret not doing it thing, and
Yeah.
I ain't getting no younger. So,
Really?
the urgency.
You look younger every time I
Yeah,
see
well,
you.
looks are deceiving. You know, the urgency to complete something that says I was in this realm, and here's the product
Yeah.
of me being here, kind of takes over all of the difficulty or all of the fear. I don't have a lot of fear related to doing it on my own. I did it once before. I didn't do it a lot out here. I didn't do it any in New York because I sang for a couple groups in New York.
Yeah.
But I didn't do any solo stuff in New York other than what the group gave me as a solo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't really have an idea of what doing a solo career would be like until I came here. But the fears would be getting it done right. I don't have a lot of fears about doing it. I'm not a person who kind of sits in fear, even if, because, I don't know about you, but the butterflies, they come before you go on.
Yeah.
They're murder. But I've learned to use it as an energy for me. It almost, if I don't get that, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Something's off. So I've learned to turn that around and do it anyway. And that's just being able to say, okay, I can do this. I have the right to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a friend years ago, she died years ago, Joan Foley. She was a music friend of mine that I sang with in New York.
Yeah.
And she was always saying to me, let yourself be the artist that you are. She said that to me. If she said it once, she said it a million times to me. And we used to remind one another of our artistry and what we can do. And it was never an issue about what we couldn't do. It was always about what we can do and what was ahead of us, and not we didn't focus much on the bad parts of it.
Yeah.
But it's just the drive in me musically. I have a couple of things that I do that I want to mark the fact that I do it. Poetry being one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Music being the other.
Yeah.
I'm working on a book of poetry right now. So
we're going to hear some of the poetry. I'm excited, actually. I mean, even though you and I have known each other for a long time, we haven't really known each other. And I really wasn't aware of the poetry aspect of you, which I'm really excited because I've read some of it and it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're going to read it, right?
Yes, I'm going to recite a couple of them today, if allowed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been writing since I was 12. So, yeah, it was a way to express myself as an African-American gay male. It was a way to write down what I was feeling, and kind of like therapy.
Yeah.
because when I grew up, you couldn't talk about this thing. So I had to write about it. And yeah, I've been writing pretty much all my life, you know, and
Yeah.
it's morphing into a completely different thing now, which is great, which is really wonderful because like music, very much like music, you're writing. I've been able to write a few lyrics to a couple of my father's songs and
Oh, nice.
write the poetry, and it's moving into a whole different area, and I like it. I'm enjoying it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
This is strange to say, maybe, and you're going to laugh at this.
Okay.
I did not know you were gay.
Oh, really? You didn't? Oh my God.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I didn't know, but because we've been in the same community for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that it matters, right? Obviously.
No, I know. Well, I know that, but
yeah,
I
interesting.
Everybody knew.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they do now.
Apparently.
They do now. You know, I'm very proud of who I am, what I am, who I am, and I don't back away. I used to years ago, but I don't back away from who I am. So I put it out there right away so people are aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's important that you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm shocked you didn't know.
I'm shocked too. I mean, kind of, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm very naive. I've come to see that, you know, there are things that, you know, people in my community, you know, surprise me. I just like, what? Oh, I just didn't even think about. I didn't think about it, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
we've been friends, and you know, we hit it off. You see that? Did I show you that picture we took?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that was a great picture. I love that picture.
Adorable.
But, that was the first night I met you at. It was at the open mic on Ventura that you used to have.
Sportsman's Lodge. Yeah.
it was a Middle Eastern restaurant.
Oh, not the Sportsman's Lodge?
Well, it wasn't a Sportsman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was
a Middle Eastern restaurant.
Yeah,
a beautiful place, and we came and sang there. And
the Gate.
And I hit it off. Who?
The Gate.
Maybe so. I don't know. It was over near Reseda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've had so many of those open mics, you've forgotten a few of them. But, and thank you so much for doing that, because you provided a space for many people to come and sing, and that's a wonderful thing. But that's when we first met, and we clicked right away.
Yeah.
I mean, your spirit is so wonderful.
Thank you. Sorry, by the way, Gary Brumberg says, I'm gay too. I was like, really? That I knew.
My brother. That's my brother there. I love me some Gary.
We miss Gary.
Beautiful guy.
Let's see. First, I'd like to play a song that Chambers, Herbert, and Ellis
exactly
sang, and then after that, I definitely want to hear some poetry.
Okay.
Personally, I want to hear some poetry.
Okay. No problem.
So, but it's fun to hear Chambers, Herbert, and Ellis. It's kind of hard to say.
Years of my life that I absolutely adored.
Oh,
it was great.
Okay, here they are. I love this one.
Come home and be welcome to stay.
Try to sing.
Baby, tell me you're coming home. Living alone is so lonely. I never should ever have run you away. I knew the day we met, you brought my love alive. You got me so upset, I forgot you was really Jack. Still when I took you in, my heart was full of me. Finally I pushed it out, cause you only was fooling me. But if you're broke again, and you need a friend, come on home. I know you ain't no good, I know your ways are bad. I'd quit you if I could, but without you I'm lonely man. I'm hoping every day, maybe you'll settle down. Cause I'm in love with you, and I ain't about to turn around. So if you're broke again, and you need a friend, come on home. What do you do when you're standing around the corner and meanwhile your home is going to ruin? What are you stupid? There's many a cat just looking for fun to die. Woman didn't mean it, she would never be saying it. Plenty of woman wouldn't take you back if you were bending down. Really on bending knees, come to me, tell you really where it's at.
All right.
Get together, get together, get it. Running, crawling, screaming, something falling. Plenty of time dropping and thinking while you sit around home, get fat and generally playing it cool. Hurry up and head for home, cause women you find will change their mind. When they try to take you down and figure it out, I tell you, baby, home is where it's at.
Yeah.
So figure it out and get it together. Figure it out. Soon as you said it, I got it together. And figured it out. Oh, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna figure it. Cause lonely nights are terrible, 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 terrible. Tired of looking, home and cooking. I go for that, that's where it's at. I got it together and figured out already. Got it together and figured out cause eat steady. With the water's really better than a hot dog now. It's just a sandwich and a snack. So every week no one should take me
Oh, I missed that.
now we got another chance to get together. That's with pretending. What's with pretending? I'm just around and acting bad and lost my passion. Give me another chance to get together.
What's there to talk about? What's there to squawk about? What? You just got to come home and do what you want to. Spend all of his time staying at home, sweet home. You did me, you heard my come at home. Mama's gonna treat you so you never know. 'Cause what's gonna be, you young and for me. I don't want you to do this. Come on, come on, come on. I should thought I was putting you down. That's what he's gonna tell me. Everybody's gonna tell you. We're done. Need it. On fire. But once they see.
People call me young, don't every night. But when you go I'm young, someone else and I'm going to. Maybe I'll take it back, maybe you'll do me right. Time and a lonely day, then I'll take you a lonely night. So when you're broke again, and you need a friend, come on home. And you're welcome to stay. Baby, tell me you're coming home. Living alone, you're so lonely. I never should have run you away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's great. I love it.
First song we ever sang. There's a song when we met. It was funny because we were a year or so after we had been singing. We got to talking about that first. So the first night we got together to sing, and we were all like, "Okay, we're not gonna be able to do this. This is Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross stuff, and we're not gonna do it." But we got together, and we sound so good. It was so funny. Once after we finished the song, we looked at one another and said, "Ooh, that wasn't bad." That wasn't bad. And we said, "Oh, okay, we can do this." Everybody we had launched that aspect of our career that night. But that was the first song we ever sang.
Yeah, that's a great song.
It's an amazing. The entire 3 years of Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. That's some of the best music that was ever produced. Jazz, vocalese especially, some of the best music ever produced. And it was funny thing. We walked into it thinking, okay, there's going to be, it's going to sound like this, it's going to be like this, and we discovered that there were so many mistakes.
Of theirs?
Yes, if you
Oh.
listen to that music correct
Oh.
easily, you hear things going off this way, and but they left it in the music. They left it in the music, and we were like, oh my God, but it was some of the best music. I don't want to say mistakes, because mistake is the wrong word, but it just it wasn't crisp, or
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Perfect.
perfect. It wasn't
Yeah.
perfect. Like when we walked in, it was this,
Yeah.
Ross, But after we got to singing, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I see where they did this, what they did with that.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to listen to. But it was a beautiful, beautiful period in my life. It really was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a wonderful time. Yeah.
Really great.
That was a dream of mine.
Uh-huh.
When I was in New York, I was singing with another group, and I had a couple of people that I was trying to do that with. One of them was another. I hang out with a bunch of musicians, kids. Walter Booker's son, Randy, and he was the bass. I was the tenor, and the girl named Cynthia was Ross. And we tried to do it, but it never developed. It never came together. But this was a dream. This was a bucket list for me. I checked that one off.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Roland, I think you're asking you like later to listen to Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. Is that what you were saying? Anyway, yeah, we can later. But I would like to get into some of Pierre's poetry right now,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't mind. I'll do the one about my dad.
Okay.
PC's bass. I wrote this. Everything that I write, I either dream about it. That's strange.
Oh, really?
It kind of comes to me. A line will come to me, and I'll create from that. And this was a thought that I was thinking about my father one day, and my brother, the bass was in the corner of the room, and he kept it there often, and I used to stare at it a lot. And I was only 11 when my father died. So in my child mind, I used to go and touch it to make me closer to him. And so this is what came. This is called PC's bass. As a young man in my teenage years, I listened to the music of Miles, Coltrane, Golson, Kelly, and Daddy. All the musicians he played with, I, at 13, was familiar with and could recognize their sound, the sound of their music. I used to stare at his bass, leaning in the corner of the bedroom at the foot of the bed, in between the bed and dresser where my brother placed it for safekeeping. It watched us sleep at night, stood guard over any danger that might walk up the back stairs of my grandmother's house trying to do us harm. We felt safe with it standing there, as if Daddy was with us. I used to wonder if I touched it in my hands, could I feel him? Would he magically appear to me, being that his bass was so much a part of his soul? Surely he had died and gone to the bass, where the soul of him lived. I used to take the bass out of its skin, the bass bag, for lack of a better term, and try to mimic his sound, just try to play the intro to So What, to make him come back. If I could just get it, play it, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, so what? He'd come back to me. I used to feel that bass, touch every string where his fingers laid, so I could feel him again. That's it.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanted it to go on.
Well, they have to end at some point.
I know they do.
I have a friend who always says that, long poems are not poems, they're short stories. A writer friend of mine, Martell. But poetry is it's a joy, it's a gift. It's a gift to have, especially when you don't have an outlet. You can always write down what you're feeling. And creatively express it. You don't always have to tell the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can embellish as you need, you know,
Yeah.
and no one knows that this is a story about this. They get from it what they get. And that's the beauty of poetry. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally can relate. I write poetry and I write lyrics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of those things that I kept meaning to do, over the last few weeks was write some lyrics to Carol Robbins music. Carol Robbins is like, you might have heard her. She's a jazz harpist.
No, it's not her.
Like if you ever see like any groups like Billy Child's group
yes.
and you see the harp, a woman playing the harp, it's Carol Robbins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's such a rare instrument. You don't see a lot of, especially in jazz. Dorothy Ashby is there.
Exactly.
And Alice Coltrane were the only two
Yes.
that I knew.
I think Dorothy might have been her teacher or her mentor or something.
Wow, nice. Yeah.
Carol's an incredible player and a gorgeous writer. Just
nice.
Really, and this song called Three Rings, it was so haunting. And as a writer, I don't know if you've gotten into lyrics. Have you?
Not as much as I need to. I've gotten into some, not a lot. Not a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting process, especially for somebody like you who's already been writing and has kind of come into your own as far as what you like and how it kind of comes together and makes the magic. But so I know what it is for me, but I've always written for me. Almost 95% of the time I've written for me. And then if somebody likes it, great. And if they don't, I don't care. And then the other 5% is like I've had to write for people. But so I wrote this and I had been studying the Portuguese lyrics for a Jobim song called Louisa. Da 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 ba ba da 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 da. Really haunting song. And I've been to learn the Portuguese easier. I've been really trying to get into the translation, and like what the words mean, so I can really put those melodies with the meanings,
Right.
But
it's a hard task of connecting.
The
task. Yeah.
But Brazilians write in a very passionate way, and most of their songs have both the pain, the ultimate pain, and the ultimate joy of love in the same song.
Oh, wow. You see, I love Brazilian music. Specifically Jobim. I just hear a lot of, because I don't speak Portuguese on any level. I barely speak English properly. So to try to learn a language to write a song is,
Oh, no.
You got
Oh, no. No, I would not. No, that is not what I did.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I was trying to take it apart so I could sing it better.
But
the way that they write, it really affects me deeply. And when I went to write the lyrics to this Carol song, I found myself writing in that kind of that kind of way that says, well, basically, like here's an example, like a song that I sang, Brazilian song was Velho Piano, which is old piano, which talks about how wonderful love is, and then it becomes like an old piano sitting in the corner not being played. So that kind of honesty, said well, that's pretty challenging. So that's why I say I was affected by this Brazilian interpretation of Louisa in that way, and then I wrote the lyrics to this Three Rings, and happily she actually liked it, which I was like, oh, well, that's it's really nice. I mean, I write like I write. If you like it, great. And if you don't and you want to fix it or whatever, it's totally fine, you know,
Go
but
for it. Yeah.
yeah, but you probably would you probably should get into some lyric writing, you know, of songs, especially your dad's music.
Yeah.
That would be really quite nice.
That's a project that I have in the back of my mind. I've written 3 lyrics to 3 of his songs. We sang 2 of them.
Really?
And I've sang Dear Ann, the one he wrote for my mom. I've written lyrics to that and sang it. That was in fact a guy from Israel, Ile Kobash, I can't think of his last name right now, got in touch with me and wanted to know if I could, if I mind him recording Dear Ann. And of course I said no. He said one of your father's songs first. And I said, no, no, you do what you want to do. You know, I'm gonna get the royalties anyway, sales, you know. But he said Dear Ann was the song. And I said, well, I wrote lyrics to that. Would you mind if I sing it? And we got together and did it through this medium.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, he loved it. He enjoyed the lyric, which I was happy. But that's one of my father's songs that are very passionate and emotional. I could feel the emotion in the song. So it was easy to write because the words kind of like just came out of the music. It was almost as if my father was in my head talking.
Yeah, that's
so that
great.
was easy.
Yeah.
The other 2 weren't so easy. They weren't so easy, but you know, I got them done, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to write from your own vantage. You have to write from your own person.
Yeah.
Because if you do anything other, I've learned, for me, I've learned that if you do anything other than that, it's not true. It's not yours. You're trying to do something else. So I commend you for writing from that point, because that's the truest point that you can offer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, writing is, I guess, usually if I write for other people, their music has to really
hit you, right?
Hit me, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a song that I've always loved that the pianist Otmaro Ruiz wrote for his daughter, and I just drove me crazy. I wrote lyrics to a Pat Metheny song that actually Pat says is one of his favorite lyrics.
Oh wow, nice.
And you know, a few other people, John Abercrombie, the guitar player, wrote lyrics.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the songs, if they really resonate with you, you know. Yeah. And then
otherwise you can't get anything. You can't, because for me, the music leads me to the words. And if the music isn't doing anything for me, it's hard to bring out words. I would never, certainly not do it on a time frame, write for other people lyrics, because you'd have to give me 6 months to a year to finish this. Because if I'm not feeling it, it's not going to come. Nothing's going to come. And my process is to listen and listen and listen and listen and listen to the song until the words speak to me. Yeah.
Can you recite or sing Anne?
Dear Anne, yes. Oh. Dear Anne, come with me, my love. Walk this world arm in arm. Together we'll be. I adore your charms. My love, either near or far. You're so close to my heart. Your smile lights the moon and the stars. You're just so dear to me, wondering how this could ever be, that you're in love with one like me, comes together to be. Oh, we, dear Anne, you are wondrous love, coming straight from the heart. I always get that part wrong. Your smile lights the moon and the stars.
Beautiful. That's really beautifully written.
It just kind of I don't know. I just listened to the music, and it just, of course, you're thinking about your mother and your father, and you're in that dream state of what you really wanted them to be, and you knew that they weren't. But
Yeah.
so you really, so you wrote. It's almost like you write what you want, and it's a song, so you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do whatever we want.
Yes. Yes. That's very true.
Roland was asking, he was asking if Chambers, Herbert, and Ellis actually did other music rather than just Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross.
Yeah, we did. We did our father's music. Each of us, each of our fathers wrote lyrics or wrote songs, and we did our father's music. We had, I forget his name, right? Yeah, I'm bad with names. Steve Rollins.
Okay.
Steve Rollins did a lot of arranging for us. He is an amazing arranger.
He is a great
And he did one of Mitch's songs, one of my father's songs, and Dear Ann. He did Dear Ann, and Alicia for Lisa's father, and Detour Ahead for Mitch's father, because Mitch's father co-wrote that with other people. And we performed those. We also did, we've done a lot of Mills Brothers songs. We did
fun.
We did another, I can't think of the name of it right now, but that was Steve arranged it for us, and it was amazing. Yeah, we did other things. We started off doing a lot of Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross stuff, and then we realized that we're not Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, and we have to do something different. So we started picking up other songs. We did. I can't think of the name of it. I'm bad with bringing names and things. Dream a Little Dream of Me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which was a fantastic arrangement. Oh, we love that arrangement. We did that. We did Duke Ellington song. We did we did other things. Yeah, we did a lot of other things. But predominantly, for the most part, we started off doing Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross stuff.
Did you guys record?
Yes, we did. It's awful, but we did it. And I don't ever bring it up. We also did a lot of Miles' stuff. We did what's the name of that? All Blues. We did Summertime. We did a couple of other things of Miles. We did a lot of Miles and stuff. We did a show of Horace Silver's music. We did some of his stuff. Mitch wrote lyrics to a lot of the songs of that. We did we've done a lot of we did things other than them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And fortunately, we had some great musicians, and Steve Rollins and other people arranged stuff for us. So we were blessed.
Yeah. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, the community, basically. I was thinking about, there's one thing I find fascinating about this forum, this thing, is that I keep coming across people who really not only came up in musical families, but also remained, let's see, how do I put it? Remained kind of a part of and creating these kind of tribes, and it's because I think that's one thing that's become very obvious during this time period, this COVID period, with all the online situations. music is really our religion, humans' religion, and
Yes.
it has really saved our ass over and over again. I think a lot of people just taken it for granted, basically,
Right.
just like regular life. Who knew?
Right, right. That you would need it so badly.
Yeah.
Because it's the soundtrack to our lives.
Yeah.
Everybody has a soundtrack that they followed through. And it was important then, but it is vital now.
Yeah.
It's so much more, for me at least, it's so much more of a necessity to have in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it. I never use this term. Only on your show am I going to use this term. It's background music. It was always background. I hate that. But it was always or music, which is even worse than background music. But it was always in the background. You were always listening to something. You clean to it, you sleep to it, you drive to it, you dance to it, you have sex to it. I mean, you do it. I mean, music is always there.
Yeah.
In some shape, fashion, or form, setting the tone, setting the mood, and it was just there. But now it's a little more. It's a little more than just being there. It's mind clearing. It's sanity saving. It's just that thing that is so necessary for me.
Yeah.
I speak only for myself.
Yeah.
As you see, I've collected a lot of music in my life.
Yeah.
And mine is predominantly jazz. That's my mind saver there. Whenever I'm like not connecting, the synapses aren't working properly, I throw some jazz on.
Yeah.
And it kind of just brings me back, as my friend used to say, to the center of the circle. Because it's the solver.
Yeah.
It's the thing that keeps you sane. For me.
Yeah.
Other people might say something different.
Well, yeah, I remember one of my fans over the years. I remember him telling me, kind of bragging, that he didn't believe in God. Mm-hmm. And I could not wrap my head around that. It was like, how can you be an atheist? It's impossible. How can you? It's like, and it's the same kind of thing with music. It's like, yeah, if you tell me you don't ever listen to music, I don't even believe you.
Right.
Because there's music somewhere that you're listening to.
You might not be conscious of it. Again, it's in the background. You might not be conscious of the need to have it. It's just something that you pop on.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I don't believe people when they say, I don't, let me rephrase that. I do believe people, because you have the right to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's possible.
Yeah, me too.
To not listen to some form of music. I mean, and I listen to all of it.
Yeah.
Even country and Western.
Well, if it's good music, it's good music.
It's good music. It's good. I've listened to, my husband has allowed me sometimes to almost to insanity, because he loves country and Western, and I'm like, oh, you're kidding. So, but I've learned to appreciate it.
I
Especially
understand.
the lyric in country and Western. If you can get rid of that twang and get rid of all of the others, the lyrics are so amazing in country and Western. Yeah.
Yeah, because good music is good music.
Yeah, it is.
I have a similar thing. My husband has collected records for years. He has thousands, and most of his genre is rock and blues. Oh, yeah. And so, but rock covers a lot of years, and sometimes, Pierre, he'll put on
some of those years.
He'll put on something like, like the real white bread stuff, early rock that had some kind of weird background. And I'll listen to it kind of stunned, and then I'll listen to one cut, and then he'll want to play something else, and I actually will say, sorry, no, I cannot. I can't. You can't play another song.
We're done.
Yeah. Just one is okay, but
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My husband loves And I love her. I love her, but a little bit of her goes a long way for me. Helen Redding and Karen Carpenter, and I love them both.
I feel the same way you
But
do.
a little bit of them goes a long way. One
Yeah.
morning, my husband got up and he was playing songs back to back of Helen Redding and Karen Carpenter,
Oh,
and I was like, I called a friend, "Can I come over? You gotta get me out of here. I'm losing my mind." And they're wonderful artists. I love some of their stuff, but again, a little just for me, and I know I'm gonna get flack on this. A little bit of them goes a long way for me. I mean, I could hear one or two songs and I'm done.
I know what you mean, and
I'm done.
sometimes I'll consider that I like the improvisatory nature of certain artists, of course, jazz, but then I think there are people like, for instance, Annie Lennox.
Yeah.
I mean, I could listen to her record again and again and again, and I have.
Yes.
And it always reaches me. So it's not the improvisatory nature of her. It's more of the artist state of mind, what they're creating and what they're bringing out and touching,
It's the mix. It's the whole thing. Yeah. Well, Annie Lennox has that voice
Yeah.
that just kind of like cuts through
Yeah.
anything. You're gonna listen to me whether you like me or not.
Yeah.
And I like some of her stuff for that reason. Another one for me is I can't think of her. I'm bad with names. I can't think of her name. But anyway, Mitch and Lisa loved her. God, what is her name?
What style is she?
She's kind of like the 60s. And she's very popular, and she writes some beautiful stuff.
Not like Laura Nero or Joni Mitchell or
Joni Mitchell.
Yeah,
Joni
yeah.
Mitchell. I'm not a big fan, but some of her stuff, like this song that she did with Crosby, Stills and Nash did it. I can't think of the name of it. I've been listening to that song because I want to sing it one day.
Are you talking about Woodstock or something else?
Woodstock. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That is. I saw her on video do that, and I was like, wow. And then I saw Crosby, Stills and Nash do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they did the ultimate version.
After them, nobody. But she did it interestingly too. And
Yeah.
then you kind of get you got one thing from Crosby, Stills and Nash, but you got the originator singing the song. And there was a sound to her voice, and the way she was bending notes was just, I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. I agree with you. And a lot of people have redone it. I mean, Maita did it on her new record.
Oh, okay.
And which sounded beautiful. But you're right. I mean, a good song is a good song, especially when the artist, actually. That's one interesting thing about Joni. When she started getting into lots and lots of words, I kind of lost a bit of my interest.
Okay.
But because she would kind of go like, her poetry was so substantial that kind of took over the music, I thought. So, but God, there's been so many wonderful artists, who
we did one of hers, River. I think we did River.
Yeah,
the group did it, and that was like kind of like, because I'm a purist. I don't listen to a whole lot of stuff other than jazz. I listen to all kinds of jazz, but I don't really. And I'm trying to learn how to be a little more respectful of other music genres, but I don't listen to it. And I really never listened to rock. I just never did. It just, it didn't connect with me. So I never listened to it. But so Joni Mitchell, I didn't even know she did Woodstock. But Lisa kind of,
really?
I didn't even know she wrote that. I didn't even know, but they kind of introduced me to her sound, and I'm like, okay, I need to pick up some of her stuff.
That's really interesting. I don't usually do this, but I want to show you this one thing that it's by an extremely talented singer, writer, shaker and mover, this woman who's so beautiful. And her name is Moira Smiley. Except I wanted to see. I mean, there's this one song, but it's not actually the song that I wanted. This one, let's see. I would love to play you this just to go.
I'm always interested.
See, this is because of how I came up to, like, I came up in jazz, but I also came up in the 70s. So in Boston. So I got a lot of varied, funk and whatever. I mean, there was so many different things. I was at Berkeley, and so I got into the modern jazz. But anyway, this kind of stuff really makes me fall in love too. So this is by Moira. She's not singing, but she's this is so beautiful.
Sit with me, birdie, in the tall tree. The news is bad and there's no relief. How do you fly to the enemy and sing your song so tenderly? These days of war,
when I fly to the enemy, the fear is high 'cause you don't agree, and tempers flare, yeah, the cry is war, no one listens anymore.
Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that because that's
nice.
Yeah, it's that's why I like Sting, because there's something about his tone of voice and his communication that reaches into a certain place that I think we all have, and it's really important,
Lyrics are very important to me. As I'm listening to a song, if the lyric grabs me, I can pretty much, I'll like the song. Sting is one of them. Kurt Elling is another.
Oh God. Oh, he did a version.
Something about his voice.
Oh yeah.
When I hear it, it kind of like, it propels me into some place, to another place. He has, and this is, I'm not speaking to a novice. I know you know this, but there is a feeling I get when I hear him sing.
Yeah.
That takes me to another level.
You should check out his version of Paul Simon's America.
Oh, really? I've not heard him sing that.
Oh my God. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it's another one of my, I have this little list. I love this song by Moira, and that one is amazing. It's
The
really
lyrics were nice. From what I heard, the lyrics were very nice.
Yeah, very.
They touch you. They get you. They get you.
Yeah, it's very. It's current. They just made it. So
was it just made recently?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So it hit the hit the nail right through the wood.
Yes, exactly.
Right
into the wood. Yeah, I like how you
into
said
the
that.
wood.
Roland is asking a question of both of us. I'm not sure, I think I understand. Since you started to study music, have you ever been able to listen to music solely passively? I think what he means, and I'm going to say what I did. I mean, there have been times when Well, one time I was dating a bass player, and we literally used to lie on the
Ooh, that's a
floor.
dangerous thing.
I know.
That's a
There's
dangerous
only one.
Yeah, right. They teach you.
But we used to lie on the floor and listen to music in the dark.
Right.
And we would put on Stevie Wonder. We would put on everything and anything and really listen.
Yeah.
And there was another time when I couldn't use my eyes for a few days or a week or something because they had some kind of infection.
Uh-huh.
And I literally could not, like, I wasn't supposed to, use my eyes. So I had pads on.
Right.
That music listening was really different for
Yeah.
me. It was
You
really
cut
nice.
one sense down and it enhances others.
Yeah.
Anytime you're meditating and you're listening to music, you're listening to it solely and passively. I think, I'm not a big meditator, but there are times when, you turn off all the lights and you put on music and you just sit in the dark and you listen. I haven't tried laying on the floor, but I have tried just being, and that makes a difference.
Yeah.
The level, you're down. I think.
Yeah.
You're down, and you're in a completely free or released situation because your body has to do nothing but lay there.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a chair. It's, you got you're using things, but if you're laying prone, your body doesn't have. So all your senses are open.
Yeah, I agree.
Take it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that one day. Thanks for saying that. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. Mary Bogue is here.
Hey, baby. Hi, Mary. That's my
Hey,
honey.
Mary.
That's my honey. Oh, she's my heart. I love her dearly. I love her singing and love her.
Yeah. I don't
There's
know
a wonderful
anybody.
collection of LA jazz vocalists that I have been privileged to be connected to be engrafted into the group, and Mary is one of them. So is Gary.
Yeah.
Both of those are just amazing people as well as singers, and it has been a joy vocalizing with them and around them and listening to them. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. This is love. This is a wonderful collection of musicians and vocalists in LA. When I moved here in '96 from New Jersey. Don't curse me for that.
Okay.
It was a mistake. I realize it now. I'm out of it. But when I moved here in '96, I came here thinking, okay, what's the jazz like? What is it going to be? Because jazz was very big for me in New York. I knew a lot of the musicians. I knew a lot of the kids of musicians. And I frequented, even though I was living in New York, in New Jersey, I stayed in New York a lot.
Yeah.
So I was frequenting the clubs in New York, going to hear music and meeting the musicians and doing that type of thing. I didn't know whether LA would be the same, but fortunately, I was blessed to find out that it's similar. It's very similar, and there are some amazing musicians here. And to my great and wonderful surprise, I've gotten to play with many of them. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in that recent recording you did in the church, Edwin Livingston, who's one of my favorite bass players, and I didn't actually know who else was in the band. Who else is in the
Joe
band?
Rotundi was the piano player, and Chris Blondell
Oh,
was the drummer.
I didn't recognize Chris.
Yeah, well, those masks, you got to put the mask on. Did you see me struggling with how to put the mask on and take it off? Oh God, I'm so tired of this mask. And I found a mask that I can sing with, because that one you can sing through, but it just, it doesn't feel right. How many masks have you purchased to sing in? Have you purchased?
No, but you know what? This is my latest group mask.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, this woman makes these, and they're really, really beautiful.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
This just kind of hangs, so I can right,
yes.
and then I can do this, and super comfortable.
Can you breathe through it?
Yep, or I can do this.
Also, you can be just out. You can just have nothing, or you can have some color.
And right, exactly. And I can just, it's just here. You know,
Yeah,
the
that's
best
a great
mask I
idea
ever
to have
tried.
that thing hanging. I mean, to have it around your neck
Yeah,
because it was the constant pulling on and
I
pulling off,
know,
hanging off the ear,
I know, I
forgetting it
know,
was there. Oh, the mask attire
I
that you
know.
have to do now with this singing thing. I purchased another mask that has. I'll go get it. I'll be right back.
Mask attire. I like that. I'm going to quote him on that. Mask attire by Pierre Chambers.
This thing. I don't know why I purchased it. It looked like it would be great for singers. You put
Does
this
it,
on,
it fogs up though,
it
right?
fogs up, which is fine, you know what I mean? But it gives you space in between the nose and the mouth so that you can breathe in and out. That's part of the problem. But it's ugly.
I have one, not exactly like that, but it's clear.
Yeah.
It fogs up and it gets kind of wet inside. So
Yes. Yeah. Moisture
this
collects.
is really nice because the quality of
Yes,
the
really.
of the material, and you can wash it, and and then also it's really well designed as far as
Designed.
opening up. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I find the other masks I have to shift up and down.
Yes.
This one,
Oh, you don't. You don't. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's part of the problem because it goes up into your eyes
yeah.
and everything, and you get. Does it have the little metal bar?
No, it doesn't,
Oh.
but it does kind of fit if
Fit.
'cause, you know, when you wear glasses,
Right.
you know, you generally are fogging up the glasses, right?
Yeah. Now the things we have to do in order to perform. So, the glass, the mask, and
And we have a few jokes too, like Mary says, perfect for sing masquerade.
bump.
Roland says, sounds like a group name, Mask Attire.
Mask attire. A friend of mine in New Jersey coined that phrase because we were, discussing COVID, and as everybody is, and trying to figure out, what. Because I bought a bunch of African masks with African prints on it. And I figured if I'm going to wear a mask, I might as well wear something that I like,
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
bought a bunch of. Then my husband bought some music. We have one with Miles and Coltrane. Then I have another one with Coltrane on it. So, and I'm not a big fan of walking around with somebody's face on my mouth. So, but that Coltrane one, I can sing in them because it's breathable.
Yeah.
That's the only one I use to sing. But if you're going to do this, you got to have at least 8 different types of masks. Music.
I'm sorry to say I don't use mask when I sing.
Oh, really?
So,
You don't? Well,
no, and I have this. Now I have this jam session once a month, the last Sunday of the month, that I'm holding. Believe it or not, a real live jam session in Playa Vista at a place called the Conference Room, which has an outdoor patio. So there's the band and singers and whomever comes up. And when I'm on my mic, I'm not facing the band either.
Exactly,
I'm kind of
exactly.
facing
Yeah.
outward, and I'm not close to the audience.
But that was the same thing with the group that I was with. We were all 6 feet apart. We were inside, but we were all 6 feet apart, and we stayed that distance. But I didn't sing. I might start off with the mask because I'd forgotten it was on.
Yeah.
I just eventually take it off.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's very difficult to sing with something covering your mouth and your nose.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I get it.
How about reading us another poem?
Sure. Let me read the one. Read the one about my mom. As you can see, my mom and dad are very important to me.
Yes.
Well, this is actually about the mothers of jazz. The name of it is The Mothers of Jazz. And I know a lot of women who were musicians' wives. And they become aunties, they become friends, dear people in my life. And they have such value. And this particular poem is more about my mother than anything, and how she brought about my love of music. It's called Mothers of Jazz. It is our father's accomplishments in the music world, jazz, that we herald. We honor them by listening to their masterpieces, by enjoying their contributions to this great music, this soulful walk through the jazz musician's mind, this sharing of life through their fingers. We declare their symphonies as magic happening. Some try to mimic what they did, telling the world that they are proud to take their steps in the footprints of these giants, the architects of the music. We love their diminished chords and flatted fifths. We praise them for their contributions. But it is our mothers, the women of jazz, who fed them their beauty, gave them love, and laid them down at night, fed the children of jazz their souls. The mothers of jazz taught us how to know our father's sound, took us by the hand and told us who we are, the children of giants, sorcerers who make their music memories. They told us who our fathers were. They're masters of a music that has set the prisoner free. Freedom, jazz, dance, hey, freedom, jazz, dance. These soul-filled women lead us to the mountain, singing in our ears a love supreme. Scat rhythms and jazz hits bound from their mouths in three-quarter time. Bud Powell finger lanes, dizzy salsa beat, Bobby Timmons this here and that there. They bled themselves into family, the rhythms and the beats of jazz stylings from Betty, Carmen, Sarah, Ella, and Etta Jones. These mothers could improvise on a jazz riff so sweetly, our fathers used it in lines of their music, saying, yeah. Count Basie and Joe Williams is family to these women. Johnny Hodges serenades them as they cook dinner. This music put us to sleep at night. The mothers of jazz nurtured us with this music, and we soaked it up in our essence. They taught us how to listen to little Jimmy Scott, how to recognize the virtuosity of our father's sound, how to feel the beats of the drum played by Max and Blakey, made us understand the beauty in their chords, how important this music is. The mothers of jazz taught us how to hear the touch of father's fingers on strings, feel the press of the piano keys, listen to the wind of the sticks as they beat the drum, hear the breath as it sucks in air to play a line that will set the spirit free. We thank you, Annie, Ajabu, Charlotte, Naima, Stella, Aisha, Ida, Bertha, Jean, Buttercup, Rubina, Carol, Patty, Alice, Alicia, Ruby, and Alice, all the mothers of jazz, the women who swing.
Wow.
That's it.
That is a great poem. Woo!
Thank you.
I'm going to have to.
I'll send it to you.
That's really powerful. That is just so great.
You know, you don't hear about the mothers.
No, you don't.
You don't hear about the women who back these amazing musicians. And I know quite a few of them. I've been blessed to have quite a few in my life. My sister-in-law is a child of a jazz musician. So her mother was amazing. You know, they have so much to offer musically as well as spiritually. And you never hear about them, and you don't really hear anybody talk about them. So I make it a point to acknowledge their existence in this road of living this jazz life, because they're important. These musicians would not have been able to do what they did without these women next to them. I don't want to say behind. Without these women next to them, supporting them, doing what they do in order to survive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pay them homage.
That's really great. Really, I love that. Roland wants to know if you've published a book of your poems. Are you going to?
I'm in the process of getting one done now.
Cool.
The publishing world is real interesting. They want you to pay for it, and then they want to take all the money from you after you've created the book. So you got to pay for them to publish it, and then they'll give you 10 to 20% of the royalties of a $20 book. That's $2.
Well, it's almost worth self-publishing, right?
That's the road I'm embarking upon now. It's been because gotten a couple of bids from a couple of companies that, I mean, that's easy. All you gotta do is tell them you got something, and they'll tell you how much you got to pay in order to publish it.
Yeah.
But I've gotten 2 contracts from 2 different companies, and it's interesting what they want to take from you, from your work, in order to create it, and then after they make it, they want to take even more, and I'm just not down with that.
Is it is it like CDs? Because I also have some books that this one particular book that I want to self-publish, and I'm just wondering, I mean, I could just put it on my site and I can put it out in PR, and that's probably what'll happen. Right. I just wonder, what else? Is there anything else? Or do I even care? Well, again, this is more of a a universal question. Do I care? Does it matter? What, you know what I mean? What matters anyway?
It depends on, it matters to me. It matters to me because I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the money so much.
Right.
It's about the product, but I did the work.
Yeah.
I should be rewarded for doing the work.
Right.
I shouldn't have to suffer. And in my mind, it is suffering when you're going to take, I mean, if they said 50%, I'd say, okay, good. It's an even break, but to take, after your work, to take so much of the royalties that could possibly come, I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to sell, but it just seemed unfair.
Yeah.
It just seemed unfair. So I'm going down the road of self-publishing. It may end up being that I just put it on online and see what happens.
Well, then there's also the endless situation of, just like CDs, are they really going to pay you? So let's just say they make this whole thing and you accepted 25%.
Right.
And then do you actually see that money? Because a lot of times in the past, I have not seen the money from the CDs. So does it really matter? That's why I think a lot of people go into self-producing and self-publishing, because you don't see it anyway.
Right.
And if you're not like some huge name that they think they're going to take advantage of, and promote real heavily. That's why I say, does it matter? Does it matter? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. But they claim, according to the contract, one of them claimed that it's a year up. Every 6 months, you get royalties.
Yep.
And then I don't know, because I decided not to go with them because, in 6 months, and it has to be at least $25.
Oh yeah, I have people like that too.
Exactly, it's got to be at least $25 to send the royalties. So if it doesn't equal $25, they wait till the next 6 months pass by.
Which
so
could
it's just way too much.
It's years, by the way, because I have a few things like that. I'm on like compilations in Japan.
Uh-huh.
They do actually send me the licensing, like every 6 months reports.
Right.
But I haven't even reached, because I'm one of 10 different artists.
Right.
And they're not, it's not a big seller.
Right.
So I'm getting pretty puny stuff. But anyway, I mean, that leads you into, sharing your art and sharing your point of view with the general public.
Yes.
And giving, the reason why we do art in the first place.
Right. It's not a monetary thing. It's a necessity.
Yeah.
Doing what we do. Yeah, that's true.
By the way, Mary wants you to send her the poem too.
Okay. I will send it.
I love that poem.
Thank you. It was a joy writing. Writing is interesting because my muse hits me at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Most of my stuff comes like really late in the night when I really want to be asleep. And it literally bugs me until I wake up and then you can't get back to sleep because now you're thinking about the poem and you think of a line, oh, that would sound better than that. So you go back and rewrite that, and you spend an hour rewriting. Now you're awake. So then you just, okay, whatever, let me just get up, you know. But yeah, that was fun to write though. 'Cause I love writing about my mother. I used to beg my mom to write some of the stories she would tell me about the living in the 50s in New York, being 18 years old and hanging out with Miles and Coltrane and Cannonball and Nika and Naima and just these amazing people. And she would tell me these stories and I would beg her, would you just write some of this down? Please, because I could create a book for some of this stuff, or I could create something for, but she never wanted to do it. So those were her memories and those were her friends. And, I guess that was just the way it was.
Yeah. That's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
How about hearing some more, a little bit of live stuff? Let's see here. I am shifting this over. Share my screen. I wanted to hear what you said you didn't really love.
No, I liked it. I just made that mistake, and I don't, but hey, life is as is.
Yeah,
Okay,
I liked this. Let's see, wait a minute. Has to go back here.
That was amazing. I love working with him.
It's great.
Yeah. Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what's said. Why people tear the seams of anyone's dream is over my head. Do nothing till you hear from me. At least consider our romance. If you should take the words of others you've heard, I haven't a chance. True, I've been seen with someone new, but does that mean that I've been untrue? When we're apart, the words in my heart reveal what I feel about you. One's kiss may cloud my memory.
Oh well.
And other arms may hold a thrill. But please do nothing till you hear it from me.
Yeah.
And you never will.
Yeah. Now I'm going to skip ahead if you don't mind.
No problem. No problem.
Sorry, Edwin.
He's so good. Oh my God.
He's good, isn't he?
I was lucky to meet him when I first moved to LA, and I did a gig with him and Michael Bluestein. Oh,
Yeah.
Man, he was an amazing find, and he's always there. He's always available. So I'm like,
He is such a cool guy, too.
such a great bass player, though.
Yeah.
True, I've been seen with someone new, But does it mean that I've been untrue when we're apart? The words in my heart reveal what I feel about you. One's kiss may cloud my memory, and other arms may hold us real. Please do nothing till you hear it from me. And you never will. Do nothing till you hear it from me. Oh
I like you're so quick to put that mask on, man.
Well, we were like, all of us were like, hey, because I was walking around with it all across my nose, and said, Pierre, put your mask on. So I said, oh, okay. Because, you know, I mean, hey, you got to be conscious of that stuff nowadays.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess Roland wants to know if there's a CD project in the works.
There's always a CD project in my mind, but not in the works as of yet. But that's hopefully in another year or two, I'll put something down on vinyl, to quote an old phrase, or CD. Yeah, I'm always thinking about. Again, that's one of my bucket lists. Get a CD out, proves that I did it. Yeah, I'm always thinking about what I have. The music that I want to do. I love standards. I love the old standards. I love singing the old standards, and you know, a few other things that I've collected. Like Woodstock is one of them. I want to arrange something that I can do that gives that song. I can do that pays respect. To the song. And I just haven't figured it out yet. But
well, I'm going to say something online, but I could wait. But I'm just going to say it here. If you would like a producer, I could produce you really well, and I would love to get into helping you. I've been producing, you know, over the last I did not know that 6 years. Yeah, and I really like producing. It's definitely a real strong form of creativity, and when you're good at organizing and good at certain taking experience, and you know what you have, and you're also a person who I feel like a good producer also allows the artist to be themselves too. You know, doesn't force them into what the producer may like. You know,
right?
But it's
okay.
So we'll talk. But
yes, we will.
I just wanted to say that because
I
feel really strongly towards that. You know,
I appreciate that, and you know, I will be calling you.
See, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
You heard it here. I appreciate that. That that validates me in terms of what I do and how I do it. That you would offer that, and I thank you, and I will take you up on it. So, Roland, there will be something coming. There will be something coming.
Yeah. It's really nice to get out of people, and this covers a lot of different areas, even just singing with a band, you know. But it's nice to get out of people what they do well. You know what I mean? And it's like communication and like life. It's like, I'm not going to force you to be anything who you're not.
Right.
You just are you, and I am me. And as we interact, it creates a really nice, beautiful experience in space. Right. You know, and that also, of course, happens with music, right? And
More so,
yeah.
even I'd say, yeah.
Oh, very obviously, right?
Yeah, because if you don't have a good producer, uh, as far as organization and or allowing the artists to be who they are, you don't get a good quality of production. So a product, you don't get a good product.
Yeah.
That is, I think that's key in what the artists can do, is that they are allowed to both do what they can do and also get ideas from. That's the producer's job, to aid the artist in creating their vision.
Yeah.
And the producer's vision as well. And knowing when to get out of the way and when to get in the way.
Yeah.
Well,
for me, what I've found, one thing that is really great for me as a producer is, wait a minute, I'm looking for here we go. Okay. Is the fact that I'm a good vocal teacher. I know that sounds kind of puny, but actually in the studio, I have found that my teaching vocal teaching has come in really well. Maita will tell you about that. And actually this singer who I'm co-producing right now, she's a well-known film composer, and she's a great writer, great singer, very earthy, organic. She's had a long history of experience, plays piano. Her music is kind of Americana, but kind of film Americana.
Nice.
And so I've been, and we hadn't worked together in the studio before, and she graciously allowed me, because she trusted me, to help her as a producer, singer, kind of in that coach type of position. And what I did was, if she said she could sing it better, I said, go ahead. If she said, okay, now I'm warmed up, now I want to start, and I'm in the magic space, I said, go ahead. And then if she oversang, I said, nope, that was too much. Go back to your simplicity.
Yeah.
And
that's so necessary, to trust the person enough.
Oh yeah.
To be able to give them that allow them that discussion of your artistry. I mean, and that takes a while to build up that trust. I know you, so I know we'll be fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate that. That is so wonderful.
So let's see. We have almost like 10 minutes left.
Yes, the time has flown by. Oh, wow.
Isn't it amazing that 2 hours just goes by pretty fast?
Well, you're doing two things I love. I love to talk. I love meeting new people, and I love having good conversation. So it was strangely enough, as my personality is to get all, whacked out about something before I do it. And then once I start, I calm down. So I was really like, oh God, what is this going to be like? But I should have known. You and I have always had this kind of rapport. So, but your head takes you in one area, this and another. So, but this has been an amazing experience for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Also for me, there are people who I talk to who like you, feels very, very comfortable to talk to. And there's no effort. There's no, wondering, oh, is it over yet?
Yeah. And then there are others.
Although I have to say, not many.
Thank God.
Yeah, not many.
Pull the teeth. You got to pull the teeth. That's,
yeah. Some surprising people.
Right.
Both ways, good and bad.
Right.
I wanted to know, basically, I don't think we really talked about this. What are you doing lately? Like right now, during this time, what do you find yourself working on or
Um,
not working on?
well, learning music always. There's always songs. You mentioned movie Americana. There are some great songs from those movies. The best things happen while they're dancing. Kurt Elling did
Yeah.
the ultimate hit to that. There's a song that I'm learning, "Lonely Girl." It's the Gene Harlow soundtrack
Oh,
from the Carol Baker one.
yeah.
The song, I love that song, and I remember as a kid watching that movie. I used to, through the summers in Detroit. I grew up in Detroit. Through the summers in Detroit, they had like a week-long series of movies, and you'd get an actor, and they'd do a week of their movies. And one of them was George Segal, and he was in that. I think he was in that. So that guy could be mixing that up with the Carpetbaggers. But anyway, this Gene Harlow song movie came on, and I was watching it, and that lead song came on, and I was in my teens,
Yeah.
and that song stuck with me until now because it's so hauntingly beautiful. Of course, you know her life story,
Yeah.
but it's such a hauntingly beautiful song, and I've always wanted to do it. So eventually, I'm going to do it. Just so many great songs came out of that era. I mean, the music was so different then as it is now, So many great songs come from that. Hollywood. I mean, I have a whole different discussion about Hollywood. the music was wonderful.
Yeah.
The music was amazing. Yeah. So I fish in that pond as well.
Yeah. Well, there was so many beautiful songs, and I particularly like what I call the little gems
Yes.
that are short and absolutely beautiful, and people have picked them up and done them, but they're like, some of them are like 16 bars even, or I mean, just really short, little beautiful things,
Right. Yeah, and that, if a song is that beautiful and is that short and it still touches you, it's worthy. It's worthy.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a song that Julie Stein wrote that a fan of mine years ago introduced me to. And Julie Stein wrote, Just in Time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. It's called Dance Only with Me. And let's see. Dance only with me in your arms, dance, stay close. I forget all the lyrics. Ba da do do day do do day, ba 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 do da 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 do day da do day. Dance only with me, la da da day da da do da.
What's the orchestration? Is it like big? Is it big, or was it like a?
Well, that was it. That was the song.
Oh wow!
So that's how short it is.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah, but the lyrics, I of course totally horrified the lyrics, but basically it's real sweet. It's almost like "What'll I Do?" That kind of feeling.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Very kind of very very intimate.
Right.
This guy's talking to this woman. Dance only with me for the rest of your life.
Right.
Basically, that's it.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and Betty Carter did a song that he wrote too, and she did her Betty Carter thing to it called "This Time." And when I went back and I looked at the real song, because after I really loved her version,
oh my God,
but I knew it was very,
anything Betty did.
But the real version was all just like what I just sang. It was very small, and it was right in that period of time. So he was writing in a particular way,
Right.
But I've always been attracted to songs like that,
Yeah. I love James Taylor songs, dude.
Oh yeah.
James Taylor has some, not the hits, not the I don't want to be lonely tonight or any of the other hits here. Those songs that he bleeds through. I mean, he bleeds his heart into little songs that are just India Ari did one.
Huh.
They gave him a celebration. This was years ago. and she did one of the songs. My mother was a tremendous fan of James Taylor, so she had all his music, a lot of his music, and she used to play it, which is where I developed my love for him. But in between those hits, there are these little songs that quiet sounds, might be just a guitar, and he's just singing his heart out. And I love that. I love that stuff. You know, that behind the scenes song that just, it was a song that needed to fit the album, to make the album a little better. So he came up with a little ditty that was just beautiful. And he does that tremendous, I mean, just amazing stuff. I love, yeah.
He does. He is one of the heroes, really, of our music culture.
Right, certainly, yeah.
Yeah, he really is. And he, for me, when I was growing up in Boston, there was a period of time when I was around 17 when I was having super, super difficult time in my life. And he had also had a super difficult time in his life.
Right.
A little earlier than me, because he's a little older than I am. And then with his music, like you were saying, you know, it's like the movie, the movie score to your life, right?
That is, yes.
And yeah, so right from that period, I absolutely hooked up spiritually with him.
Mhm.
And I know that you and I are not alone. I know there's a tremendous amount of people. In fact, I think it was a year ago or so that a group of us went to the Hollywood Bowl to see his show.
Oh, wow.
It was so great.
Yeah.
He was so sharing. He had a jazz band with him. He had this like video on stage of his life. It was a beautifully produced show.
Right.
And everybody sang his songs with him.
Oh,
It was-
God, yes.
Oh yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah. You mentioned Sting. Sting
Yeah.
is another one that does those little songs. I mean, everything is a hit with him, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even the small things are him.
Yeah.
But that combo he had with Branford Marsalis,
Yeah.
he became, I mean, I liked him with Police, but when he brought Branford Marsalis and the other guys in there, his music took on a whole nother light to me. Yeah.
I always admired him because he seemed like he wasn't satisfied or afraid of standing still.
Right.
You know, he was I mean, he moved. He went into acting, and he wrote the theater piece.
Yes,
and
he did. Yeah,
you know, I mean, just I really admire him for a lot of different reasons.
I think he is afraid of standing still, which is why he does what he does, because he has to keep, kind of like Miles. Miles was the same way. Miles took his music from one genre to the next, to art. You know, he did all of that stuff because I believe sometimes creative people are afraid of losing it. Because, you know, the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it, which is not, I don't necessarily.
You know, I liked what you said in the very beginning, actually, about that. You were saying, forget how you put it, but you put it really well. Like, not only that you needed to do it, but you were driven, or I forget how you put it, but you put it great. I'm going to go back and listen.
Okay. Yeah, it is a need. You have to do it, even if it's on a very minor level.
Yeah,
you have to produce something. You know, if I'm not singing, I'm writing.
Yeah.
So I keep the creative fire, you know, churning the creative coals over.
Yeah.
Because it's in me, and I have to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pierre Chambers, I want to say thank you so very much. It's really been a joy hanging out with you.
Same here. And I will be calling you.
Okay. We have a long time to talk. We can talk, you know, we can talk about it at various moments, you know.
Yes.
And I'd be really happy to
thank you.
be along that that line for you.
Thank you.
You're
I've
welcome.
so enjoyed this. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for having this platform.
You're welcome.
It's just in these times, in these dark times, this is a little bit of joy.
It is.
You can I'm just so glad you came up with this. When you first started doing this, I've seen other people do it, and a lot of musicians, Josh Nelson does it,
Mhm.
Kurt Elling does it, and a couple
Yeah.
other people were doing it. So it's just great to see so many musicians creating
Yeah.
a platform for us now to express ourselves creatively. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. It's
Bye,
really
Mary. Bye, Carl.
Gary,
his name. Gary,
Roland.
thank you. I always get his name. Bye, Gary. Bye, Mary. And Roland.
And one other thing, I have started interviewing people from Japan and Australia. And rather than have them wake up at 4 a.m,
Yes.
I've just been rescheduling their appearance. So tonight at 6 o'clock, I'm interviewing a friend of mine from Japan. He's an American pianist named Jonathan Katz. And he is not only a great piano player, but he's a really, really great arranger for big band. He has a big band. He's lived there for a long, long time. He has a slamming big band. And I've worked with him when I go over, on small gigs.
Uh-huh.
So tonight at 6 to 8, I'm going to be interviewing Jonathan Katz from Tokyo. And then I'm going to start again next week. And next week, I'll just say who's on next week. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right. So Monday from 12 to 2, Gail Boyd, who is an artist manager. She manages John Clayton and a bunch of people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's from New York. But then at 4:30, this is a kind of a weird one. I have to really PR this, is Leroy Downs.
Oh, wow, Leroy. I know him. Leroy and I are very good friends.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Leroy's
I've been
great.
wanting to interview him, but timing is different because he's a DJ and he's on, his time is kind of limited.
Yeah.
So that's going to be Monday. And then Tuesday, Melba Joyce.
Oh, that's Carmen's mother.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm friends on Facebook with Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Melba Joyce, she was, I think she was younger than your dad, but she was, kind of along that lineage.
Right. I sang with her father, Bobby,
Oh,
and Pasadena City College.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
cool.
he was such a wonderful person. I mean, always with a story, and just a really, really brilliant musician. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then also on the Wednesday, because I'm on basically Monday through Wednesday,
Yes.
is a pianist named Mike Ramsey, who you and I may not have known his name, but he was one of the main pianos for a whole shitload of great, really great top singers.
Oh, wow.
He's that kind of guy,
Oh, cool.
been with Tony Bennett and on and on.
Nice.
And he's really nice. He's got a lot of great stories.
I'll be sure to click on.
And I'm sorry, this is a little PR for me. Roland says 6 days. So in 6 days, I'm releasing a single.
Oh. Yay.
And I think you'll actually really like this song.
Okay.
I won't say what it is, but
Okay.
keep an ear out for it because I think you're going to go, yeah, I love that
I
song.
always do.
Well.
Yeah. I do. No, I mean, I enjoy your voice. I enjoy it.
Thank you. Okay, and on that incredibly PR note, thanks, Pierre Chambers. It was really fun and love you and have a wonderful day.
Do the same. I will. You do the same.
Okay.
Bye, folks.